Jean Eliza Tierney was born on November 19, 1920, in Brooklyn, New York, and grew into one of classic Hollywood's most magnetic performers. People first noticed the astonishing looks, those piercing green eyes, the sculpted cheekbones, the effortless poise, but what made her unforgettable was the delicacy and quiet humanity she brought to the screen. Raised in a comfortable household, she attended finishing schools and spent time in Europe, soaking up art and culture, polish that later became part of her signature style. Her entry into movies really did feel like something out of a studio fable. During a late 1930s Warner Brothers tour, a producer spotted her and urged her toward acting. She started on the stage, then moved to film, quickly signing with 20th Century Fox. Unlike many contemporaries who were typecast, Tierney moved easily across tones, playing ethereal dream figures as well as complicated women with shadows in their hearts. The performance that crowned her early career came with Laura, 1944, directed by Otto Preminger. As the mysterious Laura Hunt in that noir landmark, Tierney seemed to exist both in and outside the frame, intelligent, layered, and haunting. The film became a touchstone of the era, and her work in it is still cited as one of old Hollywood's great portrayals. In Leave Her to Heaven, 1945, she delivered a chilling turn as Ellen Barrett Harland, a possessive beauty driven by jealousy, so precise and unnerving that it earned her a Best Actress Oscar nomination. Around these peaks were other treasures: Heaven Can Wait, 1943, The Razor's Edge, 1946, and The Ghost and Mrs. Muir, 1947, each revealing a different facet of her craft. Tierney's personal life, however, carried heavy burdens. She married fashion and costume designer Oleg Cassini on June 1, 1941. They had 2 daughters, and for a time, the marriage was one of Hollywood's high-profile unions. Cassini even designed costumes that enhanced her mythic screen image. But tragedy struck with their first child, Antoinette Daria Cassini, born on October 15, 1943, who suffered severe disabilities after Tierney contracted rubella during pregnancy. Tierney later said this was among her life's most painful chapters. Their second daughter, Christina Tina Cassini, arrived on November 19, 1948, and would later write about growing up with famous parents. Tierney also wrestled with serious mental health challenges, including severe depression, at a time when such diagnoses were poorly understood and deeply stigmatized. She sought help, was hospitalized, and later wrote candidly about her experiences in her autobiography, Self-Portrait, 1979, a courage that helped audiences see the person behind the legend. She stepped back from Hollywood in the mid-1950s, returned briefly in the early 1960s, and remained beloved even beyond her peak years. After the Cassini marriage ended on February 28, 1952, Tierney eventually found steadier ground with Texas oilman W. Howard Lee, whom she married on July 11, 1960. His previous wife had been actress Hedy Lamarr. With Lee, Tierney found the quiet domestic stability she craved, splitting time between Delray Beach, Florida, and Houston, Texas, and staying together until his death in 1981. Over the years, she was also linked, sometimes briefly, sometimes only by rumor, to Prince Ali Khan, Spencer Tracy, and John F. Kennedy, a reminder of the rarefied social circles she moved in and the fascination she inspired. Tierney was not known for gossip. Still, in later retellings and secondhand recollections, often disputed and not documented as direct quotes, stories circulate that she privately described 9 powerful figures of the studio era as not merely difficult, but, using her purported phrasing, actually evil. Whether you accept those accounts or simply treat them as Hollywood folklore, the names recur: Joan Crawford, publicly the embodiment of strength and glamour. Privately, Tierney is said to have believed she weaponized competitiveness and could undercut rivals with a single remark. Errol Flynn, the dashing swashbuckler adored worldwide. In these accounts, Tierney sensed a darker streak, someone who enjoyed watching others' humiliation and treated people as disposable. Tallulah Bankhead, irresistibly witty on the surface. Allegedly, that wit could curdle into cruelty. cutting colleagues down and mocking vulnerabilities. Kirk Douglas, younger than many Golden Age peers yet meteoric. Tierney supposedly found his ambition feral and believed some women bore lasting scars from his behavior. Bette Davis, a titan on screen. Offutt. These stories claim she intimidated without mercy and exploited any perceived weakness. Humphrey Bogart, the laconic rebel in public. In private, Tierney reportedly saw a man capable of making others feel small and wearing cynicism like armor. Marlene Dietrich, allure unmatched. Alleged to be calculating and cold, every gesture calibrated to assert superiority. Clark Gable, the king to millions. In these retellings, Tierney said he could be callous, humiliating those least able to push back. Orson Welles, a brilliant innovator, here depicted as dangerously controlling, bending people to his will, and making them doubt their own sense of reality. Again, accounts like these tend to be passed along as anecdote, not sworn testimony. Memories conflict, reputations evolve, and Hollywood's oral history often blends truth with theater. But taken as a composite, the lesson Tierney supposedly drew was stark. In her view, evil in the movie business wasn't a cape-wearing villain, it was the polite smile hiding a blade. The handshake attached to a ruinous contract. She believed she met such people, worked with them, and never forgot Gene Tierney's remarkable story. Beauty, triumphs, heartbreak, resilience ended on November 6, 1991 in Houston, Texas. A lifelong smoker, she ultimately succumbed to emphysema, passing just 13 days shy of what would have been her 71st birthday. She was laid to rest at Glenwood Cemetery in Houston, a peaceful, historic place that has become a quiet destination for admirers. Fans who visit often comment on the dignity of her resting spot, an apt tribute to an actress who carried herself with grace even through the hardest chapters of her life. From Laura, 1944, to Leave Her to Heaven, 1945, Gene Tierney remains a beacon of the studio era, an artist of elegance and depth whose honesty about private pain only deepened the respect she earned in public.